This girl accidentally shot a gang leader, and now she is pursued by the entire Mexican mafia. Let's find out what happened next from the recap of the movie Bloodfather. Lydia ran away from home 3 years ago. She buys ammunition and gum at the supermarket and heads out for another showdown with her boyfriend Jonah and his gangster buddies. Jonah demands his girlfriend proves her loyalty to him. To do so, she must cover the back door with a gun in hand while gangsters commit another crime. Gunfire is heard from the house. All the children in the street scatter away in terror. Lydia walks inside. There, she witnesses that Jonah and his sidekicks have tied up the landlady and turned the house upside down looking for money. The guy hands the girl a gun, points it at the tied-up woman and orders Lydia to prove her love. If she doesn't, he will punish her severely. The landlady jumps up abruptly and Lydia accidentally pulls the trigger. The bullet hits not the woman, but Jonah. Terrified of what she has just done, Lydia runs away in panic. That's when we meet another protagonist. This is John Link, and he attends the Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. The man admits that he had a problem with alcohol and illegal substances, which is why he spent a long time in prison. But his life is getting better. John chats with his friend Kirby and confesses that he still has quite a few enemies from his past life. He has a small tattoo parlor in his trailer and gives tattoos to all comers. One of his customers notices pictures of Lydia on the wall. John admits that he hasn't seen her in 3 years. The man's phone rings. It's Lydia, and she's in panic. The girl asks her father for money. She says she needs to flee the state, or they will find her and finish her off. John immediately gets behind the wheel and goes after his daughter. The man finds Lydia and takes her to her place. The girl falls asleep in the car. John takes her into the trailer and puts her on the bed. While his daughter is sleeping, he takes a bottle of alcohol out of her bag and pours it into the sink. He also finds a gun and white powder hidden among her belongings. Lydia refuses to tell her father what happened to her. John asks his daughter to stay with him for a while. He promises to give Lydia money, but on the condition that she changes her life. The man calls his ex-wife, however, she hangs up. In the morning, Lydia receives a threatening message. John realizes that his daughter is going through a withdrawal and calls Kirby. He suggests putting Lydia in the hospital, but it's too dangerous. Late at night, a car pulls up to John's trailer. 3 gangsters ask where they can find Lydia. John slams the door in front of them, but the thugs break in. They're sure that the man won't call the police. The gangsters destroy the trailer and open fire. The man has to shoot back with Lydia's gun, but he quickly runs out of ammo. The criminals ram the trailer with their truck. Armed friends from neighboring trailers led by Kirby come to John's aid. The gangsters leave but promise to return. Without waiting for the police to arrive, John and Lydia leave their destroyed house. The man is furious, for he doesn't want to return to prison. John tells his daughter he noticed the gangsters' tattoos. They are mercenaries working for the Mexican mafia. That's when Lydia finally tells her father the whole truth. Her boyfriend Jonah was in real estate. He set her up in one of the cottages. That's where the gangsters hid their stuff, and Lydia had to keep an eye on it. One day, someone broke into the house and stole something. Lydia was accused of this. The girl admits to her father that during another showdown, she accidentally shot her boyfriend. John is shocked. Looks like his daughter is in serious trouble. Lydia and John book a room at a cheap hotel. The young receptionist flirts with Lydia. At night, the girl decides to chat with him. At that moment, the guy watches the news report showing that Lydia is wanted by the police. She is the prime suspect in a serious crime. The police assume that Lydia is hiding with her father. The receptionist admits that he is obligated to call the police, but he believes in her innocence, so he helps Lydia and John escape the hotel. Police cars drive up to the building. The receptionist gives the protagonist the key to an empty room with a back door. Suddenly, it turns out that they are chased not only by the police. An unknown gangster opens fire on the cops. John wants to steal a car parked outside a hotel. The thug with a gun appears in the parking lot. He shoots both at them and the cops. The tattoos on his face indicate he's a Sicario, a cartel assassin. These are the men assigned to eliminate the most important enemies. John manages to break away from the chase with great difficulty. He attempts to find out why the Mexican mafia is so mad at his daughter. Using his old contacts, Link sends a message to a crime boss in a Mexican prison. Who is Jonah Pincerna? John and Lydia continue their journey in a truck transporting Mexican illegals. They arrive at some bar, and John questions the customers and the bartender about the man named Tom Harris, better known as Preacher. John spots bottles of liquor on the shelves. He has an addiction, and in order not to lose control, he calls Kirby. The man is very worried about his friend and offers help. While they are talking on the phone, Lydia is chatting sweetly with the bar's customers. The daughter suggests a new plan for her father. He goes home and rebuilds his trailer while she illegally crosses the Mexican border. John is convinced it's too dangerous. They better find Preacher. He's a rich and powerful man, and he owes John a favor. Then Lydia says that she's already gotten Preacher's address from one of the customers. What a smart girl. Father and daughter cross the border and end up in the Preacher's ranch. There's an electric fence, a minefield, cows, horses, and a huge hangar with cool bikes. One of them belongs to John. The main character finds Preacher. It turns out this old man is a dealer of banned symbols and metal. John says that the Preacher owes him a lot of money, but the man is in no hurry to pay off the old debts and offers to meet with his buddies first. In the evening, a rowdy crowd of bikers arrives at Preacher's ranch. Preacher tells Lydia that the modern youth don't know how to have fun the way the old people do. Lydia's mother used to party like that too, but then she married a rich man. John shows his daughter his bike and says he doesn't want Lydia to repeat his mistakes. In the morning, Preacher and his wife surprisingly argue that they could make a lot of money if they turned John and Lydia into the police. But they are honest people, so they will let the fugitives go. However, without any money or the bike. John becomes enraged. He takes a gun out of the Preacher's wife's hands, threatens his former friend, takes the keys to his bike and leaves the ranch with Lydia. They are chased by two armed bikers. One of them is overtaken by John's bullet, and the other one crashes into an oncoming truck. To change his appearance, John shaves off his beard. While he calls Kirby, Lydia reads a new threatening message. The girl tells her father that she doesn't want to live anymore. John promises his daughter that everything will be alright. He advises her to rest and change her appearance while he meets with a friend. Lydia agrees and dyes her hair. John goes to the prison to meet with a high-ranking Mexican mafia official, Arturo Rios. The protagonist is wearing a suit and tie and looks very respectable. He is obliged to leave his personal belongings in the locker, so he can't answer Lydia's call. The frightened girl decides to leave the room and get lost in the crowd. Rios informs John that Lydia's boyfriend's uncle is the godfather of the entire Mexican cartel. While the mobster was in jail, the guy kept his money. He caused a lot of problems, and they decided to get rid of him. John complains that his daughter is being hunted. The problem is that her boyfriend had stolen money, but the girl was blamed for his crimes. Rios advises John to teach his daughter to hide well, because they can even get her in prison. Lydia goes to the cinema, her phone rings, and it's her boyfriend Jonah? Lydia is shocked because she thought he was dead. Jonah tracked his girlfriend down with her phone. The gangsters capture the girl, push her into the backseat of a car, and take her to the desert. John leaves the prison and calls Kirby, but it's not his friend who answers. It's Jonah. Poor Kirby is tied up in the trunk of the car. Unfortunately, the criminals get rid of him. John is furious. He is determined to find out where his daughter is. The man offers the gangsters a deal. He won't tell his uncle that it was Jonah who stole the mafia money if he lets Lydia live. They arrange a meeting. John goes to Preacher's ammunition deposit, gets rid of his former sidekick, and heads off to rescue his daughter. The gangster orders him to arrive at the specific place alone and unarmed. John fulfills the mobster's demand, but stealthily puts a mine under the bike. They tie his hands and put him in the car next to his daughter. The road is blocked by the bike. The two villains try to remove it, but an explosion cuts their lives short. Taking advantage of the situation, John manages to capture the gangster's gun and eliminate him. Only John and the tattooed assassin remain alive. Lydia's ex-boyfriend prefers to run away. In a decisive fight, John eliminates the fierce tattooed killer, but also gets fatally wounded. In his last seconds, John manages to tell his daughter how much he loves her. The police arrive and take Jonah into custody. He ends up in the Mexican prison, but obviously won't have long to live there. Arturo Rios and his accomplices will make sure of that. Lydia changes her life. She no longer breaks the law and attends Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. The girl is sure, if you owe someone your life, then you should live it.